About 800,000 years ago, before the dawn of human history, a golden era civilization is thought to have flourished with a land mass and islands that span nearly the entire ring of fire, a path along the Pacific Ocean characterized by active volcanoes and frequent earthquakes. It extended from north of Hawaii 3,000 miles south to Easter Island and to the Fuji's, and was made up of three areas of land stretching more than 5,000 miles from east to west, and included the west coast of North and South America, the Gold Coast of Australia, and the Hawaiian Islands in the center. Mu or Lemuria was the lost continent of the Pacific, according to the findings of James Churchward, archaeologist and author of The Lost Continent of Mu. Churchward claimed that while he was a soldier in India in the latter part of the 19th century, he befriended a high-ranking temple priest who showed him a set of ancient sunburnt clay tablets, supposedly in a long-lost Nagamaya language, which only two other people in India could read. Churchward convinced the priest to teach him the dead language and decipher the tablets. Churchward found out that they originated from the place where man first appeared, Mu. The tablets begin with the creation of Earth, Mu, and the superior human civilization, Nakal, by the seven commands of the seven superlative intellects of the seven-headed serpent, Narayana. Churchward claimed that the ancient Egyptian sun god Ra originated with the Mu. He claimed that Ra was the word which the Nakals used for sun, as well as for their god and rulers. The Lemurian civilization had made great advances in its technology that were far beyond our own meager accomplishments today. Their great achievements were brought forth during centuries of continuous culture on Mu through a universal at-one-ment with the Divine Mother. For it is the Divine Mother whose consciousness embraces the laws governing all manifestation in the earth plane, and shows to what heights a civilization can rise when the mother flame is honored and adored and revered in every heart and guarded and expanded in shrines dedicated to her name. Lemuria's capital, a great megalopolis called the Golden City of the Sun, was where the main temple of Mu was located. And it was in the central temple of Mu that the priesthood and the people celebrated according to the hours, hour upon hour, celebrated and adored the permanent flame of the Divine Mother, the piercing ray of the ruby light, sheathed in white fire. Just imagine what a sight that is now. Stand before this brilliant ruby light, raising 3 or 4 or 5 times higher than a man, and sheathed in a pulsing, radiating white fire. This is the flame of the Divine Mother, truly a pillar of fire. The worship was based around the Universal Mother in the image of what was known as the Cosmic Virgin. This personages of the Mother represents her immaculate awareness, her holding the cosmic consciousness of the divine wholeness of each soul that she maintains on behalf of us all. For we are all the children of her sun presence as we swim in her cosmic womb. But the central temple was not the only one, such a magnificent temple as it was, for throughout the far-flung colonies of Mu, positioned in a wide circle across the vastness of the continent, on what today is known as the Ring of Fire, stood on each line of the cosmic clock 12 smaller replicas of the central temple, and each shrine embodied a different god virtue of the virgin consciousness. Lemuria experienced 3 great golden ages during the embodiment of the first 3 root races. What happened somewhere during the evolution of the 4th root race, a huge cosmic glitch transpired called the Great Rebellion. Due to the fall of many of the angels of heaven, a great war followed, which seemed like a scene out of the movie Star Wars. And eventually the dark forces were pushed out of the etheric plane by the forces of light. And these dark ones came into the material universe, not only having great wrath, but also great attainment. And these fallen ones continued making war, but this time it was war against the souls evolving here in the matter cosmos. And eventually, they made their invasion of planet Earth, where they began to teach the people the misuse of the mother flame, warping the, warping the Lemurian Golden Age timeline, changing Earth's trajectory to our past and current dark times. Thus, the misuse of the mother flame produced horrendous and devastating effects, even at the level of nuclear weapons. And there was a desecration of the altars and the worship of the moon mother, the great whore mentioned in the book of Revelation, replaced the worship of the sun mother, the woman who John saw clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. One by one, the inner circles of the temple orders were violated through the diabolical practice of black magic and phallic worship taught by the Luciferians, until a completely false theology wiped out the pristine patterns of the mother cult. And ultimately, this misuse of light brought about the final straw that broke the camel's back. The ultimate coup d'etat, if you will, of the Dark Ones came when the fallen Archangel Lucifer brought about the murder of the highest representative of the Divine Mother in that era. Now the once mighty land that had been devoted to the Cosmic Virgin could no longer sustain the pillar of ruby fire that burned many thousands of years, and the flame of the Divine Mother in the central temple burned no more. And the flame of life as well had gone out in every light bearer. And thus the planet had lost its reason for being. So the great hierarchy of light, the Cosmic Council, had no choice but to declare, as cosmic law dictates, Earth must be dissolved. And we know so well the great cosmic hero of our drama is Sanat Kumara, hierarch of Venus, who stepped forth and volunteered to go to Earth, keep the flame of life on behalf of Earth and her evolution. With him came 144,000 volunteers, and many of us were among them. And so with Sanat Kumara's coming, the great cosmic council spared our planet. However, the souls who perished with the motherland re-embodied upon a naked Earth, having no recall of their former state and no tie thereto, for they lacked the flame. They reverted to a primitive existence, for it was through disobedience to the laws of God they forfeited their self-mastery, their right to dominion, and their knowledge of the I Am presence. Their threefold flame was reduced to a mere flicker, and the lights in their body temples went out. And it becomes clear that man's fall from grace was in actuality the result of his falling away from the cult of the mother and his misuse of the light of the mother flame, whereby man, no longer found in the image of the Christ, became one of the species, Homo sapiens, and an animal among other animals. The prophecy is that through the worship of the motherhood of God, once again, that the cult of the mother is destined to come into prominence in our age, that the Lemurian Golden Age timeline will manifest once again. And it is America's divine destiny to be the center of this golden age of Aquarius, which is why Saint Germain and the Great White Brotherhood have worked for centuries preparing a sacred land for a sacred race to fulfill a sacred mission. For behind the culture, history, and religion of America lies the spirit of the Great White Brotherhood, America has been carved out by the Brotherhood to be for the fulfillment of the destinies of the peoples of Lemuria and Atlantis. And it will be through the elevation in society of the functions of the feminine aspect of the deity, science and religion will again reach their apex as mankind discovers the Spirit of God as a flame enshrined upon the altar of his own being. At this point, your question may be, how can we put America and Terra back on the Lemurian Aquarian Age, Golden Age timeline? How can we bring in an age of enlightenment? In a word, the answer is simple. The masters have said over and over and over again, douse the planet with oceans and oceans of violet flame. Archangel Zadkiel, the angel of the seventh ray or violet ray, has given us a vision of alternative futures. In other words, alternative timelines that we could end up on. And it is our choice whether we remain on the current timeline of darkness or manifest the original Golden Age timeline. In his dictation from 1987, Zadkiel tells us, "Hearken ye, O light bearers of a nation and many nations. I, Zadkiel, speak to you as I spoke to the children of light by the mouth of Moses and of the ancient prophets. Children of the light, sons of light in your midst, hear me, for I cast before you now a vision of violet flame, as over the land a sacred fire does burn, all of America covered by violet flame. This is the vision whereby you see what destiny America can deliver unto the nations. It is a future of hope, prosperity, and light, and an inner walk with God. This is the vision of Saint Germain. I remind you that the scene of violet flame covering the land is one that can be accomplished by you. And if not, beloved, then you will see the second option. You will see coming to pass the third vision of George Washington. You will see a cloud coming forth out of the east and out of the west and over the seas. You will see warfare and bloodshed upon this very continent and soil. And you will see, as hope against hope, the failing of those of America to turn back that nightmare of the Great War. I admonish you that while you have life and breath and hope and avenues of communication, that you cease not to deliver the message of Saint Germain and the call of an archangel who has stood for you, civilization after civilization, unto the end of this age. May you know this truth that I have spoken and fulfill the prophecy of your destiny." End of quote. On April 13th, 1997, Ramu, ancient priestly master of Lemuria, delivered a dictation asking that we give dynamic decrees that the violet light might descend for the transmuting of the very records of the original fall of mankind. The master tells us, "These words of the honor, these records of the horror are deep, especially the murder of the highest representative of the Divine Mother. These devastating records are a great weight upon current civilization and must be cleansed, as they are holding back many souls who cannot move on because these records have not been transmuted. Thus, the Pacific Rim is now the place where the violet flame must be injected, where the violet flame must go to the very depth of the sea and remove these records. When these records are removed, beloved, there will be a transformation in society as great priestesses of old come to the fore again, take embodiment, and move with others who are of the feminine ray to bring in the balance of the masculine and feminine and to drive back those fallen angels who have moved against the woman and her seed through these long, long, long centuries of departure. If you could see the future, beloved ones, you would not hesitate to give many hours a day decreeing for the violet flame to consume records that have befallen those who lived on Lemuria, those who are under the high priest, and those who are the murderers of priests and priestesses in that era. And I, Ramu, and priests of the sacred fire from Lemuria, salute you. And we promise to match whatever violet flame decrees you give by the power of 10. End of quotes. And that's something to keep in mind, that dispensation of multiplying it by the power of 10. Saint Germain has told us about a planet that faced a similar crisis faced by our planet Earth today, who in their hour of crisis took their stand and said, "We will turn back those who would destroy our planet." This planet is called the Violet Planet because the evolutions there have served and invoked the violet flame for eons. Listen to what Amritas has told us in a dictation in 1991 titled, "A Violet Flame Sea of Light, an Unprecedented Dispensation for Saving the Earth and the Saving of a Golden Age." Beloved ones, I address you this evening to give you a remembrance of a period upon our planetary home when we approached the crisis that you are approaching. It was in that hour when some of you were even a part of our evolutions that the then light bearers of our system did rally to our call. Circumstances were similar to those you have now faced upon this earth, with fallen angels moving against the people and leading them astray, pursuing their divide and conquer tactics, blurring the issues, deceiving the elect of God. There was a rallying then by the representative of the Divine Mother who moved in the midst of our people. And that one did appeal to their hearts, and the message was transmitted round that planet until all servants of God were galvanized, even by the power of her heart and the great central sun magnet. They were quickened almost as though they were suddenly in another dimension, and they awakened to the urgency of the hour. Beloved, they responded before even greater odds than you face today. They turned the tide with the violet flame. They heard the call to give their invocations at the altars around the planet. There was even a saturation of the planetary body with violet flame. That saturation, therefore, did flush out the fallen angels, who then could be bound by the legions of light and removed. Blessed ones, we went on into a golden age because of the few who responded. And today that planet is sustained in that golden age because the people have not lost the memory of that which was almost a planetary holocaust. In this dictation, Amritas went on to announce the unprecedented dispensation of the violet flame sea of light, explaining, "I deposit in the heart of the earth a dispensation immense of concentrated violet flame. It is an intercession of the quality of mercy. It is an intercession afforded to all those who serve the light. And through your holy Christ self, it may be meted out as an unguent, as an elixir. May you drink of it in your hours of need and your hours of strength, and keep it replenished by new calls to the violet flame. It is a giant violet flame reservoir, as a sea of light pulsating." End of quote. Angel Gabriel has spoken about the action of the violet flame sea and has admonished us to take advantage of a dispensation as great as Amritas' gifts of the violet flame sea, for it cannot work unless you give your violet flame decrees daily for that sea to purify and transmute misqualified energies that have accumulated on the earth's surface, within its crust, and at the very center. For the violet flame sea can take the form of a fiery violet flame vortex spinning at unfathomable velocity and drawing unto itself vast accumulations of planetary effluvia and human karma and all sentient life have borne for thousands of years. So armed with this awareness of the importance of the violet flame and these mighty dispensations to lever its use, let us take advantage of this and lay the fruits of the violet flame and the Rubere upon the altar of the Great White Brotherhood to consume, as requested by the masters, the horrendous records of Lemuria that are burdening our planet, that are constantly amplified by the forces and hordes of darkness and used against us and used against the light of terror to continually manipulate our planet and its leadership. Give this group invocation now. It's in your matrix. And you can behold this violet flame sea as a great sea rising, as a tidal wave of violet flame, responding to your invocations, inundating the earth, transmuting the cosmic core of war, of death and hell itself, etc. Together. In the name I am that I am, Ayer, Asher, Ayer, Yah Elohim, El Elohim, Adonai, Adonai Tsevarot, Elohim Tsevarot, El Hai Shaddai Adonai, Yud Hey Vav Hey. Blaze the light of Ein Sof. Blaze the light of Ein Sof. Blaze the light of Ein Sof. Blaze the lightning flash through Keter, Chukmah, Binah, Diat, Chesed, Gavora, Teferet, Netzah, Hod, Yesod, Malhut. Power in the names of God, blaze forth. Power in the names of God, blaze forth. Power in the names of God, blaze forth. Power of God, rend all that is less than the holiness of God. Power in the sound of the word is for the turning of the words. Power in the sound of the word is for the turning of the worlds. Power in the sound of the word is for the turning of the worlds. And let the earth be covered with the sound of the word. In the name of the Christ, in the name of the I am that I am, we call the beloved Alpha and Omega, Helios and Vesta, God, Saria and Cusco, and the great teams of conquerors, the Lord of the world, Lord Gautama Buddha, the world mother. We petition for extraordinary dispensations from the lords of karma, that we might right the wrongs of this and all past civilizations that have gone astray. O great masters of the Ruby Ray, Sana Kumara and the Holy Kumaras, Buddha the Ruby Ray, Paul the Venetian, and angels of the cosmic cross of white fire and the Ruby Ray, and Lady Master Nada, blaze the light of the Ruby Ray, blaze the light of the Ruby Ray, blaze the light of the Ruby Ray, and the pulsating white fire of Divine Mother, for the clearing of the records behind the seeking of Numeria and the scouring of the coasts of North America and all the coasts and islands of the Pacific Rim. Blaze the light through, blaze the light through, blaze the light through into the record of the conspiracy of the fallen angels who determined to pull the children of light from the love of the mother by the perversion of the sacred fire through sensuality, sexual perversion. Consume the cosmic core of the record of the desecration of the altars, the blessed shrine of the cosmic virgin through the misuse of sound, rhythm, and the word. Come forth, Omritas, the 144,000 priests and priestesses from the violet planet, Ramu and the priesthood of Lemuria, Saint Germain and Lord E. Portia, Archangel Zadkiel and legions of the seventh ray, and all the mighty flame and violet flame masters. Release, release, release from your great causal bodies, from every etheric retreat on Terra, the full intensity, the all-powerful light of the biotransmuting flame, and the fiery purple consuming fires of the chemical ray, to be injected into the Pacific Rim around the circle of fire, which includes the entire border, the lost continent of Lemuria. That this great blowtorch action of the violet consuming flame fills the entire Pacific Ocean, above and below its surface, and that not one atom escapes its purging power. Double the intensity of violet flame each hour, and fill the interior of the earth and the subterranean depths of the Pacific, as well as Neptune in the War's kingdom, with a powerful, roaring action of the violet flame, creating such a pressure that is forced out in every direction the substance and structure of the Pacific Rim and the planet. We call for the seventh ray aspect of the Holy Spirit to cleanse the west coast of North and South America of the records of infamy and rebellion, of hatred of the mother and selfishness of her children, to go to the very depths of the sea for the consuming of the record of Lucifer and the seed of Satan, who hatched a plot to murder representative of the Divine Mother on Lemuria, and the record of Lemuria itself. And let there be a great pressing in upon the earth of the mighty etheric temples, enshrining the altar of the Mother in the 12 houses of the Son of Mu, that a great golden age descend into the physical in this hour. As above, so below. Let thy kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. We accept it done this hour in full power. of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.